It was a late autumn afternoon in Toronto on November 14th, 2025. The city was bustling as usual, with commuters rushing home under a sky tinged with gray. Overhead, traffic at Toronto Pearson International Airport ran its usual rhythms. Among dozens of flights navigating the busy airspace was Delta Airlines Flight 3923, a CRJ-900 regional jet making a routine journey from Atlanta to Toronto. Inside the cabin, 78 passengers and 4 crew members settled into their seats. Some were business travelers engrossed in laptops. Others were families eager to reunite with loved ones. To them, it was meant to be another ordinary flight. The weather conditions were typical for late autumn. Slightly gusty winds, but nothing alarming. What no one could have predicted was how swiftly their world would change. The first sign of trouble came as the plane began its final approach into Toronto Pearson. Witnesses on the ground described hearing an unusual sputtering sound before seeing the jet suddenly veer off course. Pilots in the area reported chaotic radio transmissions, but couldn't discern what was happening. Investigators would later confirm that Flight 3923 had experienced dual-engine failure, a catastrophic but exceedingly rare event. The CRJ-900 was now gliding without power, its crew fighting to maintain control. Captain Rebecca Miles, a seasoned pilot with over 15 years of experience, acted with extraordinary calm under the unimaginable pressure. Together with her first officer, they made the split-second decision to attempt an emergency landing in an open area near Toronto Pearson. But the options were few, and moments were slipping away. At 5:12 p.m., the plane struck the ground in a grassy space just shy of the runway. The impact sent shockwaves across nearby neighborhoods, and a plume of black smoke rose into the evening sky. Emergency crews were scrambled immediately, deploying helicopters, fire trucks, and ambulances. First responders described the scene as chaotic, yet eerily quiet, with the wreckage partially intact but surrounded by scattered debris. Despite the crash, it was not an entirely hopeless scene. Of the 82 people aboard, 53 miraculously survived, including several crew members. Passengers recalled acts of heroism as fellow travelers helped one another escape the wreckage. Tragically, 29 lives were lost, including Captain Miles, who stayed in the cockpit to steer the plane away from densely populated residential areas. Her actions likely prevented further loss of life. As news spread across Canada and the United States, so did the mourning. Families of victims gathered in Toronto, supported by airline representatives and grief counselors. A year later, a memorial was erected close to the crash site, honoring those who perished and celebrating the survivors' resilience. The plaque bore a simple but powerful message: in the face of tragedy, humanity endures. Investigations into the crash led to significant changes in aviation safety. Delta Airlines and regulatory bodies oversaw enhanced engine checks and updated emergency response protocols for similar aircraft. Flight 3923 became a somber lesson in the complexities of aviation and the importance of preparedness. To this day, the scars of that November evening remain. For those who survived, each breath is a reminder of the fragility and strength of life. For Toronto and the aviation community, the crash of Delta Flight 3923 serves as both a tragedy to grieve and a call to never stop improving for the safety of all who take to the skies.